Today is Thursday, December 17th, and before we start our lesson, you are required to complete the retrieval practice link from math. So what I need for you to do is click right here on the link, and then you click on the website, and this Google form comes up, and you've got some questions that you need to answer to the best of your ability. And when you finish, you're going to click submit. So the first part is you put your name in, you click on your teacher, your homeroom teacher, which number shows the correct solution to the problem. 64,783 minus 28,528. So make that calculation on your paper, do it on your notebook, and choose the correct answer. The next one, Jason has driven his car 34,784 miles. Jesse has driven her car 14,369 miles. How many miles have they driven their cars together? So, using your notebook, make the calculation and then put your click on the answer choice. Which do you prefer? Sunny day, rainy day, cloudy day? Click on the correct answer or whichever one you feel like you want to answer. And which is your favorite burger place. So make your favorite choice here. Once you finish, click on submit. Once you finish, go on and submit your document. And on our next slide, I've got a multiplication table here just as a resource for you to be able to go back to if you forget um, multiplications of numbers or just for you to practice. And here this is the next couple slides is for you to insert a picture of your work. So if you're doing work inside of your binder, there's an option coming up for you to do work in your binder. Then you will work on that page, take a picture of your work, and you would insert it into this slide or the next one. So today is, again, Thursday, December 17th. We're on lesson number 18. Same division, different context. Same division, different context is the title of our lesson today. Our learning target, I can create division word problems using an equation involving a remainder and explain context. Our essential question, why is it important to approach problems using a variety of strategies? I'll just continue to build on that question. Interpreting remainders. So we've talked about the different strategies that we can use. Rounding up, just dropping the remainder, sharing is caring, and remainder only. So for the next few slides, we're going to get a little bit more detail about each one. Now, if you click on this little help button, it's a short video that gives you information about interpreting the remainder strategies. Round up. Add one more to the quotient so that everyone or everything is included. An example, 37 divided by 4 equals 9 with a remainder of 1. So when you round that up, instead of 9 with a remainder of 1, it becomes 10. So you use this in situations such as whenever you can't leave people, animals, or things out. Just drop it. Do not use the remainder in the final answer at all. So some situations you would have to just drop it. 37 divided by 4 equals 9 with a remainder of 1. In this situation, the answer would just be 1. So whenever there's a restriction that prevents you from using roundup or you can't easily share the remainder, you would just use you would not use the remainder in that situation. Sharing is caring. This is when the remainder can be easily and equally split into a fraction or decimal. 37 divided by 4 equals 9 with a remainder of 1. So that will be, in this case, 9 and 1/2. So often used with money, food, and measurement. Often used with money, food, and measurement. Remainder only. The answer is the remainder. in some situations. 37 divided by 4 equals 9 with a remainder of 1. In these kind of situations, the 1 would be the answer because it's the remainder. When the problem asks about how much is left over, in those type of situations, you would only use the remainder. So in our next slide, which interpreting strategy would you use? We're going to read this particular problem, and then we'll choose round up, just drop it, sharing is caring, or remainder only. Henry is baking pies for a cookout. Each pie serves 8 people. There will be 46 people at the cookout. How many pies should Henry bake so that each person gets 1 piece? In this case, you would round it. In this case, you would round it. Our next one, which interpreting strategy would you use here? Molly is making bracelets with 50 inches of yarn. Each bracelet needs to be 7 inches. How many 7-inch strips of yarn can Molly cut? So 50 divided by 7 in this case, it's going to be 7 with the remainder of 1. So in this case, you would use it. You would use it. Sharing is caring for that one. Use it or sharing and care. Sharing is caring. Next scenario, which interpreting strategy would you use? 8 friends went out to eat at a restaurant. The meal cost $90 and they wanted to split the cost equally between them. How much did each person pay? So this one will be 90 divided by 8. So this one will be 90 divided by 8. So in this case, guys, the correct answer would be share it. This is a food problem, so you would be share it. And we're not necessarily specifically solving the problem. We're just looking at the different scenarios and determine with the remainder, what will we do with it? So sharing is caring in this situation. Next, Micah is giving stickers to his 5 friends. He wants to give the same number of stickers to each of his friends, and he will keep any that are left over. How many stickers will Micah keep? So now we're talking about stickers. So here, you would just drop it. So in this particular case, you would drop it. So for our next slide, this is just an introduction to a Jamboard. So your teacher has assigned you a Jamboard, and the question here is, will 44 divided by 6 have a remainder? So with this particular problem, 44 divided by 6, I'm going to pause the video and go ahead and solve it using, you can use the area model, expanded notation for this one. Okay, so for this one, 44 divided by 6, I've set it up in the area model. We know that 6 times 7 is 42, and when you subtract 44 minus 42, you have a remainder of 2. So the answer is 7 with a remainder of 2. And to our original question, yes, it will have a remainder. And go to our next slide, guys. There's another Jamboard, brainstorming remainder scenarios. So on this Jamboard, this is where you're going to create scenarios. You are going to create your own scenarios for rounding up the remainder, just dropping it, remainder only, and also sharing is caring. So you're going to create your own scenarios here. And you can do that using our text box tool here and make it bigger, and you can text in your scenario. You can kind of type in your scenario right here, or you can draw it in. So for this slide, you're going to sort the following word problems, the word problems over here, and the answers for the division problem 44 divided by 6 on top of the interpreting and remainder strategy. So basically, you're going to read these, you're going to drop and drag them in the correct place. Where do you think they should be? Okay, do you think if you think it's a roundup type situation, then you will move it to roundup. If you think it's a just drop it situation where you just drop the remainder, you drop and drag it down there. If you think it is a sharing is caring type situation, you would drag and drop it there. If you think it's a remainder only situation, you would drag and drop it there. So you have to do the same thing for each one. So we're going to pause the video for just a minute and allow you the opportunity to um, drag and drop. So I've gone ahead and included my answer key on here now. You've had an opportunity to work on it. So when you drag and drop it, problem C is a roundup problem. Problem D is a just drop it problem where you just drop the remainder. Problem E is a sharing is caring problem, and problem B is going to be a remainder only type problem. And for independent work, this is where you're going to use your own creativity here. So in the middle column, which is right in here, in this column, you're going to write a word problem. Write a short word problem that will use the interpreting strategy listed on this side. So if it's a roundup problem right here, you would write a word problem that would be associated with rounding up. If it's a just drop it, you would write a word problem here where you would just drop the remainder. And sharing is caring, you would type a word problem here for that. And if it's a remainder only problem, you would type it right here. And on the second column, you would write the answer with an explanation. You would write your answer over here with an explanation. So you're going to be writing in each of these columns in every rectangle for your independent work. And lastly, just a reminder, complete the independent work on the previous slide. And also you have 15 minutes of Khan Academy.